Hello everyone, welcome to Destiny Palmistry lessons. I am today talking about the double lifeline and fate lines. This is an example palm reading that will teach you more about these confusing lines. I'll show you both the right hand and the left hand. Don't forget, if there's ever anything you want to know, my website has like 240 articles about palmistry, about all the lines and the hands. So check that out. You can type in the search, whatever you want to look for, destinypalmistry.com. Okay, so here's this hand, the right hand, and this lady was confused about whether she had a double fate line or a double lifeline. So I'm going to draw over, I'll just grab this pen. I'm going to draw over these lines to explain what they all are. Now, starting here in blue, the main lifeline starts and follows this track down here. Now, based on timing of the lifeline, it stops just past halfway. If we measure halfway, I mean halfway from here to the end. Rub that one out. So it's just past halfway. So that means that this change occurred around just past the age of 40. So around about 42, there's a big change. So this lifeline, there's more than one lifeline. There is actually like 3 lifelines. So I'll explain a little bit more here. This line is a supporting line, a sister line to the lifeline, and that changes around about the same age or just before. And it's overlapped, so it shows a change in the life. And the lady has confirmed that there was a change during that time. So this lifeline here is the old lifeline that might have been the old life. See, it's very fine, but where the lifeline changes is actually taking over this side, and it travels out. And there's a section here that's like a fork as well. So that shows a big change, and it is sort of like the fate line taking over the lifeline, but sort of not. So that's why that can be confusing. But I've decided that that is the new lifeline that I've just drawn in the blue. There is evidence of that on the left hand, which I'll show you shortly. But I'll just continue with this. Okay, the fate line. The main fate line starts at the Mount of Moon. And that is usually a very creative person, and they might find creative ways to do their career, etc. They might also be in the public, like the public will respond to her kind of work. So she'd be good to work with the public. Now this fate line splits around about the age of, before the age of 30 or so, and becomes like a double fate line. So it shows that the normal direction of life has divided. So she does have evidence of change around about that age. And I'll get a different color. The headline here has a big bump, and it's probably is an island. It's not very clear, but an island on this headline shows a problematic period, and the fork shows again her creative personality. So the island on the headline is around about the middle of life again, showing that age around the 40s, like shown on the lifeline, is the most difficult period. But the good thing about islands is, because it's divided energy, it's temporary, because the line splits for a while, showing an uncertain period, and then it joins back up, showing that everything returns back to normal. And that's the same case whether the island is on the lifeline or whether it's on the fate line or on the headline. A little bit different for the heart line, because that can indicate more about the actual heart itself and the emotions. So this fork on this line is showing the division or decision to take a different route in life, like potentially regarding the career, because the career line shows those changes. Up here, above the heart line, there are a couple of success lines. They're called Apollo lines, and those are indicating that she will be doing what she enjoys after the age of 50, career-wise. And it will be quite easy for her, because there's only fine Saturn lines. Got this arrow up here, I'm going to mark in yellow. It looks at first like a branch from the heart line, but it's not. After looking carefully, it's a stress line that crosses over the heart line. So that's just indicates the stress that she has been through in the past. There's also another interesting line down here, is the via lascivia. This via lascivia is more like just the energy of wanting to get away from the usual. Now, back to talking about this lifeline, and what makes me believe that is mainly a lifeline, not a fate line. This one here. Oh, that was the rubber. I was supposed to be using a highlighter. Here's a highlighter. This one here that I'm highlighting in yellow appears to be a second fate line or a second lifeline. And the reason why I decided that it is more of a second lifeline is because it does come off from the headline, and there's no other line rising above it. Also, the main part of the lifeline is joined to the headline and then comes away. And because of the changes in her life, the second part of the lifeline is also joined to the headline, but comes away at a later date, showing more independence later in life, like becoming more self-sufficient later in life. And I'll show you that from the left hand, where it's very visible. So here's the left hand. I should have zoomed in a bit, but you can see here what's happening. There's the original part of the lifeline, which is more like a sister line, like a support line. The first part of the lifeline, and then showing the new part of the lifeline in a very similar position as on the right hand. And there are these travel lines that leave. So may not necessarily mean she will travel, but it can show that there's restlessness during that period in around her 50s. So that's showing the change in other places on her palm as well. So then Yes, so the original part of the lifeline is tucked in here. So that just indicates all that change that she's been through and probably still will be going through. And the blue lines I've marked as the fate line, and there are several of them. So that shows, once again, changes. Where it sort of keeps flipping over, that shows a different part of her life. So before the age of 35, she's got these changes. And then after age 35, and then again after age 50. And those are timed by I'll get a pencil, the heart line. Usually when the lines cross the heart line, at that point where they cross is around about the age of 50. And at the point where the lines cross the headline are usually around about the age of 35. On the lifeline, approximately halfway, if you visualize it, approximately halfway is around about the age of 40. And that can vary for sure, because some people's lifelines don't curve around so much. Some curve a lot more. Some have a large amount of Venus here. So it does vary. So I hope that has helped you a little bit to understand some of these lines on the palm, and I look forward to do more videos for you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.